Morning everyone. Today I want to give you my journey of a serial entrepreneur update. Now it's a really cold and kind of damp Monday morning, and excuse me if I'm running very gingerly this morning, but you'll see this a couple of weeks ahead. But yesterday I did the my world record attempt to be the fastest male to run dressed as a ninja in aid of raising awareness for the amazing children's charity Fab Kids. And a bit nervous about doing these because I was doing a lot of build up for it, and then the thought of not making the record or it not going to plan, and then having to kind of do these runs with my tail between my legs. But fortunately, it went, even though the conditions were horrendous, it was a successful attempt. Just going past somebody. Morning. But yeah, so I managed. The world record was currently 4 hours and 17 seconds. Sorry, 4 hours and 17 minutes and 50 seconds, and I came in at 4 hours and 55. Sorry, 3 hours and 55. I can't get my words out today. 3 hours and 55 minutes and some odd seconds, which was clearly below the required time. So now it's down to the challenge of trying to get the adjudication evidence across the Guinness World Records to try and ensure that it's approved and passed. But either way, I am at the moment the unofficial world record holder as the fastest male marathon runner dressed as a ninja. So it's a little bit of PR, but the name of the game was to try and get as much awareness as possible for the charity. And the frustratingly, well, not frustratingly, that we got so much traction with the live stream, but frustratingly, the weather was so wet, it just kind of decimated all the tech equipment, and we lost the stream for a small section in the middle. But the problem was that in terms of what we were trying to achieve from the kind of Facebook algorithm, was we were trying to get viral reach, and the aim was to get enough shares, likes, comments to really start pushing out there, and then it would build traction as the event carried on. And within the first hour, we had over 100 shares. We were kind of sitting at about 4,000 views, and it was really starting to bubble up nicely, and it had a lot of opportunity to go viral at that stage. But then the stream cut out, so we went live again with the second stream, but you're starting from scratch again. And the problem is when you're doing that, is that you've got all of the big kind of collaborations that you've been kind of working on for the past few weeks, who have already shared your content, like some of the massive running groups out there, some of the local news stations and everything. When your stream goes down, you can't then go back to them and ask them to do it again, because it's just not the thing to be done, and they're not likely to do it again. It's hard enough to get them to do it for the first occasion. So, but the learning curve is, we now know a lot more about kind of contingencies and stuff that we need when we do type events again. But I do think overall it was a massive success. Not only did the world record get broken, support was truly epic, and lots and lots of Fab Kids people were involved as well. And we tried to get the message out as best we could with the support team that we had. So I think it's a hugely successful event, and it's given me the motivation to try and, as one of the challenges to continue forward with, is to try and go for a couple of different world record events, world record challenges every year, and in the aid of hopefully fundraising when we can get back to kind of normality for children's charities rather than just the raising of awareness. But so last week, onto my topic for today, was predominantly about kind of the world record attempt. There's a huge amount of planning and prep went into it. I'll dissect it further in the coming week on some other episodes, but I'll talk you through the launch plan, what we did, what worked, what didn't work, and I'll go into that perhaps more on a marketing topic, which will be on Friday. But just to give you the high level, we got, I think, something in the first stream. The views are still going up because obviously it was recorded live, but people are still tuning into it now. It's about 4,500 this morning, some 300 odd comments, 100 and some odd shares. Just need to let this person go past. One second. And then basically yeah, the 100 plus shares was the one that we were really aiming for. There's 300 odd comments and I think 130 or so engagements in terms of likes or loves. It's pretty good going, and it's a bit sad we didn't get to push it viral, but it's a pretty good turnout. It will still continue to go up, I'm sure, as we get a little bit of post-event coverage. So that's the stats from the first one. The second one, I think we got 1,500 views. It's still going up. Not as many shares. I can't remember. I think it's maybe 30 odd shares so far. The comments were ridiculous in the last one because that was the finishing. So I think we were 200-300 comments on that. The second one, which didn't get as much viewage. So really impressed. And a huge number of engagements on the second one because obviously it had the finish in it. But I think we've really got a model, or the crux of a model that can really work for launching events or products or services. And the guy I did a lot of work with, Dan Thorby, on this, he's having a well-earned break away for a week, but we'll be dissecting it further when he's back and documenting it all. We've got most of it documented already, but just analysing and documenting it all so that we've got something ready for when we go again, and also for when we launch a social media agency and people want a helping hand in a launch. We've got a model that we've used, we've tried and tested that we can offer out as a service. So yeah, pretty exciting in that regard. So on to the nitty-gritty of the business. Well, as I stated, I didn't put a lot of focus into the businesses because it was built up to this event, and it's interesting because I talk about how I use running as a release mechanism from entrepreneurial stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And morning, mate. And I have to confess, I did feel quite a lot of overwhelm and anxiety and stress in the build up to this, but it's because it's something I've never done before. It was fear of the unknown. It was fear of having to perform in front of people that will be watching, expecting. And I need to look back on that and try and dissect what I could have done differently, because there was a couple of moments where I was like, I don't say panic attacking, that's a strong word, but I was certainly thinking I had to have a quiet word with myself to kind of sort myself out, my mindset, and try and reset, and then work out how I was going to tackle the task ahead. And I think once I did that, and I put a bit of time into the planning side of things, where we're up to, I managed to kind of pull myself back down to a grounded position to be able to act accordingly. But yeah, there's a lot to be said to that, and I need to dissect that because this is what this vlog's about and how you can do things differently. But I think a lot of it comes down to fear of the unknown and not knowing what's ahead. I think in most people's businesses, they understand their business so well, they kind of are ready, maybe not ready, but they understand what challenges could come and what things could happen. Whereas I think you're doing something brand new with a team of people that it's brand new for. There's so many different variables that can go horribly wrong. But I'll dissect that again later in the week on some of the mindset style stuff, and I'll see if I can put some summarisation around it that will hopefully help people moving forward. But so on to the updates for the week. Well, in order, Property Empire Investments, we had money come in for 2 sales that were previously agreed. That was 10 grand, which is amazing. We had 2 more sales this week, so it's a 20 grand week, which is phenomenal. Really, really happy with that. I'd love to be able to do that every week, but we're not getting ahead of ourselves. It's a really, really strong week considering I haven't really been involved, and that's the power of systems and processes. The team was still sourcing, the team was still making offers, the team was still selling without me, and I've got all that visibility in terms of the reporting side of things I set up. So really, really pleased with the week, considering I've offered pretty much next to nothing to that business. The coaching business, again, we have had no focus on that whatsoever. We're waiting for the copy, which is due to arrive this week, to build our first sales funnel. But I'm just going to turn around, I don't want to do any further than I have to today. But we made 2 coaching sales. That's 2 more clients coming in at £395 a month. So that's the best part of 800 quid addition onto our monthly recurring revenue for the coaching business, which I think takes us up to about £3.5 grand a month in that business, which is pretty impressive considering we haven't really focused on it. And huge kudos to my business partner Jack, who's been getting lots of sales calls and converting them very well, considering we haven't had a lot of focus on it. But the marketing channels we put in place to get calls booked in for him have worked, which again is really cool. The power of systems and processes. And again, I've got my reporting protocol so I can see what's happening every day. Our list grew quite considerably last week. Well, not for some, but we had about 20 odd new people join the list, which is a lot for us at the stage we're at. But that just goes to show that this is all organic. That just goes to show that the traffic, the content we're putting out there, the lead magnets that we've got are working again. So super happy with that. I'm really happy with this week's performance considering I haven't been involved. Maybe there's a moral to the story, maybe I'm getting an underlying message there. Don't get involved and stuff happens. So we'll see. Property business, not a great deal of movement there. Maintenance is still ticking over on some of the unoccupied units. We're about 83% paying occupancy. We're about 87% occupancy rate. Our target is to get to 97.5 occupancy and 92.5 paying occupancy. So we're not a million miles away, but we've just got some sticky voids at the moment that require a bit more maintenance in order to get the rent ready before we can get tenants in. I've got all the tenant inquiry side of things set up now, and it looks like we've got an okay tenant pipeline. I've put some new marketing focus on the team to kind of drive more inquiries, and I've got the reporting processes in place, so it'll be interesting to see how that kind of kicks off over the coming weeks. So some progress there as well. And then finally, the social media content repurposing agency. Well, a huge amount of focus has been on that because we always said with this world record attempt that we document the process and offer this as a standalone product in the social media agency, that we will help you launch your product, service or event, and we've got all of the process, what you post, when you post it, how to do it. We've got the graphic designers, the video editors and everything in place so that we can give clear directive on what you need to produce, and then we can run it, publish it and run the kind of campaign for you. And I think the figures that I've talked about might not impress some of you, but first attempt to get what we did, I think is very impressive from my perspective. We targeted 100 shares as what we were aiming for to make it a success, and we hit that. And after an hour of a potential 4-hour live stream, had we run for 4 hours, I think that would have gone viral. I really do, and that's Dan's views as well. So I think we've got something that could really work moving forward. And like I say, my commitment is to do a couple of these world record attempts every year, because the PR you kind of pick up on them is great for driving traffic and getting support from big collaborators in order for the greater good in terms of raising money for children's charities, which is one of my big ambitions in life. So yeah, really excited about what the future holds in that regard. But there's been a lot of work done in social media with content repurposing agency, not so much on the repurposing of content, but I suppose documenting a launch event process, which we'll be able to replicate now quite straightforward. A few teething issues we need to do operationally when running the events, but again, we've got all that documented for the next time I do it, and trying to spice it up a little bit with some cool locations to do it in. And I think that the roles in the operational team are a lot more clearly defined now, having been through the process and experience the technical issues that we faced on the event. And I think it's not that we didn't test it. Me and Dan tested it multiple times, as you've seen in my feed. However, the issue was that the support team were given a very loose itinerary and turned up on the morning of the event without having a test run, where all the test runs were done with me and Dan, when Dan was actually the guy in the back office, being a doppelganger for me, responding to all the comments and everything and pushing it from an office environment, which you have to have. Whereas I should have had all the guys out in the field with me doing test runs, but it's difficult when they're coming from all over the country, and it's admirable the amount of effort they put in for me. So huge kudos to those guys. So anyway, that's pretty much it for me for the weekly update. It's been a cracking week. It really has, one of the best for a while. Things seem to be falling into place. We also have a non-development opportunity which has got massive DDV potential that we're scrutinising at the moment. To be honest with you, I think we've got too much on, but this is something that is historical, which has risen its head again. And the team around me are all adamant they want to do it. and invest into it. And you know, I'm part of the team, and I read something in Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work, story of Basecamp, and it's the process is called disagree and commit. And I'll talk about this in a separate episode, but basically when you work part of a team, you know, you work as a democracy. Occasionally there'll be situations where your team is so passionate about something you disagree with, and this is the same instance with the development today. But even though I disagree, I'll support them and I'll commit. I have to protect my liability and exposure. However, I will, even though I disagree, I will commit to it and support them, because that's empowering people and pushing things forward. So watch this space on that. There could be another addition to my list of opportunities that I'm working on. And additionally, I haven't talked any more about the material supply, furniture supply company, which is going to back up our Property Empire Investments business, which will be launched very soon as well. So huge amounts going on. But exciting times. But the key thing to take home and summarise from this episode is that we've had some big wins in terms of revenue and sales, and stuff that's been happening in the business have been really impressive. And the systems and processes have made that happen. The people who are running them have made it happen. The reporting, the infrastructure I've put in place has given me the visibility, and I haven't been involved. So if that's not inspiration for those of you who are doing everything, then please watch this again and try and take that from it, if that's the only thing you take from this place. So that's it for me today. As always, I'm going to gingerly run this back home. It's nearly 4K and do my 5, and then I won't be doing any more running today for sure. As always, if you've got any questions, drop me a line. I'll respond to every comment. If you've got a topic, I'll do a vlog episode and tag you in. And if it's not for you, no problem. Unfriend, unfollow me, no drama. But do check out the Entrepreneur Facebook group or my YouTube channel, Kevin Britton Entrepreneur. My 120 or so episodes, 25, 26 maybe, are all catalogued nice and neatly by topic. So there's a free ad hoc resource you might want to check that out before you go completely. So that's it for me today. As always, stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you tomorrow.